All right. Good morning once again. Thank you for tuning in on a Monday morning. I am going to be talking for the next half an hour, 45 minutes regarding the online baking course at Hamstech. I'm going to discuss what we do with the course, how does online baking work, what can you do after taking up this course, what does the course entail, what are you going to do in the 3 to 4 months that you are with us while doing this course, all of that. And if you have any further queries, you can put down all the queries in the chat box and I will be answering those questions. Also, we have a very special offer coming up for you with respect to the online baking course. More on that after I finish the session. So let me quickly get started. All right. My name's Preeti Shetty. I run the baking department for Hamstech, and we've been doing this since June 2019. But since June 2020, we've started this really interesting online baking course where people not just from Hyderabad but also from rest of the country are joining our course, and they are happy with the way things are working for them, and we will discuss how this is different from any other online baking program that one takes up, and what do we do differently and how does it function differently. But before I go ahead with that, I would like to talk about the course in general to begin with. What do we cover in these 3 or 4 months that we do? So it, I'm just getting right in. All right, and this is the most favorite topic that I like to talk about, that is baking. And I genuinely think what I put on screen, that it does feel, doing baking does feel magical. And why I say that is because it's one of those things, where you have very similar ingredients for most of the products that you make, but the final output is very different for most of the products, right? So you use the same flour, sugar, butter to make your baked product, but the end product is very different from each other. So there are a couple of ingredients here there that are different. Of course, flavors would be different because different flavors are added, but still, a cake has a very different texture, taste from a cookie. Likewise, a piece of bread tastes very different from a cookie or a cake, and all that happens because you really need to understand the right technique of making the product, understanding the science of how do you use these ingredients, and if you are good at it, you really would be appreciated, and in certain circles will be called a magician, because not everybody is able to do it. I know a lot of people, especially in around this time, the last 6 9 months, so many people have tried their hands at baking, and of course a lot of people have succeeded, but a lot of people, it's a hit or a miss, or it's a complete no go, because it has been disastrous. So you really need to know and understand what you're doing and how you're doing things. Volume is low, so I am increasing the volume. If somebody could confirm for me if I'm audible now, this is better. I'm looking at this. Okay. uh, is it better now? Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for letting me know. All right. So I was there, that it is disastrous in certain it has been disastrous, and there have been people who've been able to pick it up, watch and learn and things like that. So we've had a fair share of people coming in who have tried baking in these last 6 9 months and want to know a little bit more about it, and would like to understand how it goes and what goes around making these products and things like that. So let me quickly go ahead and discuss what we are going to cover in the next 30 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first. Okay. So these are the things I'm going to cover in my next 20 minutes. I'm going to discuss what we're going to do with reference to the theory. We're going to discuss that, and how what are the practicals that we cover in this course, and what are the additional features of the course, and why those additional features also I would like to talk to you about, and how do you use this course? I mean, of course, you like and want to know about baking, but what do you do professionally once you have done the course? What can you do professionally? Also, that I would like to discuss, right? So, getting right in, with discussing the theory part of things. So, a lot of people before joining the course don't realize there's so much theory. Most are like, "Arey, this is a cooking class or a baking class, so we will come, we'll make products, and we'll go and we'll get some recipes." But that's not how it works. The reason being that we've designed the course to sort of help people understand what is baking beyond the 50 recipes that we do in class. We want people to know how they will work with a recipe, which they would, further see in a book or on a blog or in a video, any of those, and they for them to, because this happens very often, right? We see certain content with respect to baking or cooking, and it looks all awesome, and under 30 minutes on reels now people are making food, and they're showing us that you can do this, and it's so easy to do these things. But very often when you see these awesome videos on YouTube or any other platforms, what happens is everything looks glamorous on their video, but when we try those recipes, it's a flop, right? So why does that happen often is that many times we don't understand what goes around. Of course, there are all those in front of the camera, off camera things that are going on. That is a major part of why certain things don't look the way they do look, because there's a lot of for camera things that are done, which may not be told to us when the videos when they put out the video. But oftentimes what happens is that, especially with written recipes, people do trials, hopefully before putting out the recipes, but oftentimes they don't, and they assume that this works and this doesn't work. Now, we need to know and understand why the product or a particular ingredient is added and what quantity it is added and all those things. So if we're able to understand that, then we can look at the recipe and we will be able to tell whether this recipe works right, or the equations in the recipe are right. So a little bit of math, little bit of science, a little bit of art and craft, all of that entails in baking. So we're going to quickly let me run through the theory bit, what is covered in the theory part of the course. Okay. All right, I'm back. I think I'll second. Okay. So we are going to be covering quite a few. Uh, 1 second. All right, let me move myself a little bit so that you can see what I've put out. Okay, so with reference to the theory, we are going to understand a lot of things. In fact, I have about 20 plus topics in theory that we cover in the course, but some of which I've put it out here for you. So some of the things that we learn in theory is understanding the ingredients that are used in baking. So we're going to look at various types of flours, especially focus on wheat, the grain itself, uh, the various flours we get out of wheat. We're going to look at other ingredients, very, very important ingredients that help you in the baking process. So we're going to look at milk and cream, fats and oils, nuts and fruits, sugar. There's certain amount of science and certain ways in which we use sugar. There are also many variety of sugar that we use. We're going to understand all of that. We're going to look at salt. Salt is also a very, very important component with reference to baking. What it does, especially with bread, how it helps us and what it does, and all those things are very, very important. And we're going to look at those things. So we're going to first, so the major focus with reference to theory mostly is to begin with is the ingredients, and then we look at the next sort of set of things with reference to theory, which is the science bit, which is the science part of things, right? So we are going to look at various we're going to look at various science-related bits in baking, which is understanding how yeast works and what goes around with reference to the protein in the bread and things like that. We're going to look at that. We're going to understand preservation a little bit, because those really help us understand the ingredients that we're going to use, and we use a lot of preservatives, naturally preserved items with reference to baking. We also want to understand the shelf life of the product that we make and things like that. Then we look at cooking methods. Baking is one cooking method, but we also use a lot of other elements with a baked product, where we need to understand the other methods of cooking as well. So we're going to look at that. Then we're going to look at basics of food science, and we're also going to look at recipe balancing. Here is where we understand, okay, so this recipe, if I want to make it with less sugar, how much low can I go with reference to the sugar? Because one needs to understand that, just taking one example, and of course all this in detail only if you join the course, if you add sugar to a dish, especially a baked product, it's not just to add sweetness or a little bit of sweet flavor to the product. Sugar does a lot of other things. In breads, it functions very differently, where it helps you, it's food for yeast, so it helps in multiplication of the yeast, or whether it's in cakes, where it's also helping you not just add sweetness, but help you give structure. And depending on too much sugar, your product will look a certain way. Too little sugar, something else will happen to the product. All those details we will be looking at and understand all of that, so we know how much can we increase sugar in a particular recipe, or how much can we reduce sugar in a particular recipe, right? Likewise, we are also going to look at again sugar. Okay, why sugar used in our products, and how it helps preserve the food for a little longer, that it's a preservative, and that's why it is used. So these are things that we're going to learn when we look at the food science bit, right? Then we have leavening agents which help. So most of our baked products, from the size that we put inside the oven to the final output, it always increases in size. So you have certain leavening agents that help you do that, and different products has different leavening agents. So we'll study that. So whether you're making a puff, there is a certain leavening agent that helps the rise of the product. Whether it's bread, there something else is used. In a cake, something else is used. So we are going to learn about each of these things and understand how these are used, so that when we make the product, we are able to make it with perfection, understand the science behind it, and then further, when we want to change things, we can change things over, because we understand how to make those changes. So it's very, very important to know and understand how these things function. Only then will we be able to make those changes, make innovation in the in the way we are making those things, right? So if you want to add certain things or reduce, all that can happen only if you know how to do it, right? So now what we are going to look at is, we are going to look at the other things that you learn, and the other things that we're going to learn with reference to the theory. Of course, we're going to do this in the practical as well, but this theory we need to learn and understand better, which are various methods of making products, right? So you need to know that to make breads, there is not just one way of making bread, there are various methods. Of course, there are certain steps that are involved in making the product, but there are various methods, and that will give you a different output, right? Likewise in cake, right? So I can make one vanilla cake with similar ingredients, but when I change the method, my final output will have a little change in flavor, but changes in texture is going to be there. So I can decide for what purpose am I going to use this vanilla sponge, whether I'm going to make a fresh cream cake out of it, or I'm making a base for my mousse cake, or am I using this for my parfait. What am I going to make use of this particular cake for? That depending on the texture and the output of the product, I can make many various products out of it. So it could be one vanilla cake, but there are 4 different methods of making the vanilla cake. So, and we use each of them for different purposes, right? So that's what you're going to learn. Likewise, cookies, right? There is one butter cookie, but there are many ways of making this butter cookie. So the output, the final texture, the final, the way it looks can be different depending on the recipe that we have used, depending on the method that we have used. So this is another thing that we're going to learn, and that's the whole purpose of us having this course, is that this is also called the foundation of baking and confectionery for this reason, that you understand the basics of baking so that you can further gain knowledge with respect to the various use of these things. So that's why you need to know and learn and understand various methods. Likewise for pastries. So we are going to learn about various pastries, and some of it we are going to practically do it in class also, right? So this is how we are going to look at the theory, and moving on, I'll discuss what practicals and how are we going to cover the practicals, and what you can expect with reference to the recipes that we're going to do in class, right? So we are going to do quite a few items. To begin with, we are going to do breads, and we're going to do about 10 to 12 variety of breads. These varieties include learning how to make your basic loaf. Very, very important to learn how to make your basic loaf. So what I generally do is we do teach you the basics, and then we also give you some alternate recipes more over and above the 50 recipes that we do in class, where we ask you to try other things. So we'll do the basic loaf, we'll do the multigrain loaf, we'll do the whole wheat loaf, but we'll also give you a recipe for a milk bread so that you know and understand how to use that, because the process and all that is going to be similar. I'm going to add a few recipes for you to try it out, right? We're also going to be doing various other breads, including a focaccia. We're also going to do a baguette, so that you understand various processes. And the process is slightly different for each of these from the other breads. We're going to be doing donuts. We're going to do a variety of donut fillings and frostings on top of it. We're going to do pita bread. Addition to that is we will also be teaching you how to make hummus. We will be doing a pizza, but we'll also do, since we're doing pizza from scratch, we're also going to learn how to make the concave, so the sauce for the pizza. Likewise, we're going to do burger buns, but we'll also try and teach you how to make the patty along with it. So it's kind of the, we're also going to do the products wherever we can, teach you how to make the filling in certain places, or the sauces in certain places. Likewise, we teach how to make lavash, and we'll also discuss the dips that you can make along with this lavash. So we're going to do that for almost all the items, and if not make in certain cases, we definitely discuss what else can be done with that particular product, right? So if your baguette is ready, we can discuss how can you make a sandwich out of it, and we'll also discuss whether you can make a panzanella, which is like a salad that you can make using this bread, and things like that. So we're going to discuss all of that as well, not just make the product, but how are you going to use the product, and then what's the shelf life of this product, and how do you keep it, how do you store it. That is very important, right? So we're going to discuss that as well, right? So then after breads, we're also going to focus on very, very important, we're going to focus on the cakes. So we will be looking at various cakes. Now these are not just flavors, but we're actually going to look at the process of making the sponge, to learn how to make the sponge. And and the pictures that you see on the screen are pictures taken by our online class students. They have made the cake, and they've taken the picture and they send it to us to show how they have finished their cakes, right? So we teach fresh cream pineapple cake, but we're actually doing a creaming method cake there. We do a black forest cake. There we're teaching the whisking method cake. We're doing a tiramisu cake where we're teaching the chiffon method. Then we're going to do a cake, vegan cake. We're also going to be doing blueberry white chocolate cake, which is an eggless cake. Then we do cake with ragi flour. We're also going to be doing the eggless chocolate ganache cake. All these cakes are not just understanding and learning flavors, but you're also learning different methods of making the product. And then we also tell you how do you alter the recipe to get more recipes out of that one recipe. So that one sponge cake can give you 5 other sponge cakes if you just make certain flavor changes or change of certain ingredients, and you'll get a different product that you can use to be iced, and then various icings that could be used and things like that. So that's how we teach. So we do 50 full recipes, but for most recipes we also do the alternatives that you could just alter a little bit and try and get a completely new recipe. So we do that as well, right? Then we are going to look at traveling cakes. We do quite a number of traveling cakes as well. They keep really well. They're great for gifting. They're great to, like, it's also I prefer cakes that are rich in taste and flavor than in icing or the frosting, right? So these are the traveling cakes that we do. We do a carrot cake. We learn how to make banana walnut cake. We learn how to make the pineapple upside down cake, the apple crumble cake, which is extremely yummy. It has great texture. It has a beautiful sponge at the bottom, nice apples that have cooked really well while they were getting baked at the center, and beautiful crumble on the top. And that's how that apple crumble cake is. We teach you how to make the Christmas cake, or the it's famously known as a plum cake. It's actually a fruit cake, which is I like to call it a drunken fruit cake, which has alcohol in it. But we also do it with sans the alcohol for people who don't like the alcohol. So we do that. Then there is the marble tea cake and the chocolate chip muffin. These are the traveling cakes that we teach our students. So, and these again, the pictures that you see are the output that is from our students from the online class. We've made the product and sent us the picture of the product, and I thought it'd be a good idea to show off the ones that they have been, doing at their homes and sharing it with us. So that's with reference to the traveling cakes. These are the cakes that we do. Then we also do a variety of pastries. So we do mostly short crust pastry and puff pastry, but we make a variety of products out of that. So we make the variety of pies, from apple pies to lemon tarts, chocolate tarts. We also do quiches. Then with the puff dough, we make the wedge puff, and we make palmiers. All of these again are things that our students have made and put out the picture, mostly from their class. So this is what we do with reference to the pastries, and we also discuss alternatives, what other alternatives, other fruits you could use, or the other pies you can make out of the existing recipe that we do. So those are things that we do with reference to the pastries in class. Then we also do other desserts, interesting ones, like the cheesecakes. So we do a variety of cheese. We do two variety of cheesecake. We do the baked one, and we also do the cold cheesecake. So you learn both varieties, and then flavor is something that you can mix and match and add, right? We do a couple of custards. We do the creme brulee, the creme caramel. We also do red velvet cupcakes, and we do vanilla buttercream cupcakes. So we do all of these in the 50 recipes, and alternatives are discussed when you do that in class. So we do the classic creme caramel, but we discuss how can you use orange or lemon and other things to make it more flavorful and things like that. So those are the things that we cover. And then how could you use it as a part of another larger dessert if you make custards, right? So how do you make use of that custard to make something more interesting? Those are the other things that we would be discussing when we do the class. So these are some of the products that we do in class. We also do a sugarcraft class online, but that's where we actually um, show you one particular dummy cake. How do you cover the dummy cake, and what can you how do you make the elements on the cake? This is from our offline class. The pictures that you see are by our students from the offline class, but in online class we show you how to cover the cake, two ways, and how do you make some certain elements, and what are the other things that you can work with and do with reference to the fondant that is used. We do that, right? So that's covered in the sugarcraft class. Then we also sort of do certain other very very important topics, especially if you are somebody who's looking to uh, make products and sell these products. It's very important that you understand certain things to be able to uh, take this up beyond just the passion of the hobby, right? And if that is, if you start selling these products, one needs to really understand how to sell the product, how to and to sell the product, what you need to know is how to price your product. Costing is very important. You need to know what is the how much do you sell this cupcake at. It's very important for you to know, understand how do you arrive at that number. Most often we have a lot of students who are already baking and selling. I've had students who've had up to 5 years of baking experience and selling the product experience, but a lot of people, including people who are selling the product, don't know how do they actually arrive at the selling price. Most of them say that, oh, they calculate the cost of ingredients and add a little bit of profit, and that's how they come up with the costing of the product. And some others will say that we check in the market what is the rate going, and accordingly we price a product. But that's not the right way to price your product. And what is the right way is what you learn when you do the course with us, because for made to order products, there's a certain way you come up with the cost of the price of the product. So that is a very important lesson that we focus on, which a lot of even IHM grads wouldn't know how to price the product right. That's very important. Then in today's time, I think internet is the place where for very little you can market yourself, brand yourself, sell products, all of that, right? So we discuss a little bit of that internet marketing as well in the class, because I feel it's very very important for you to know. Even if you most of the people who join the course are already using social media of some kind, most kinds, but at least some kind they will be using social media. So how do you maximize the use of that social media for your business, if you want to intend to you know um, grow this into a business for yourself? So we discuss that a little bit. Then we discuss this also in terms of sales, to reach out to more people apart from your existing circle of people, right? So we discuss all of that with the internet marketing class. So that's the additional bits that I've tried and focused to have in the course. It's still low? Oh, I've just gotten to know that my voice is still quite low. I think I will be a little loud. I'll try and be louder. Can you just check if it works now? All right. So the other thing, very important thing that we need to focus on when we are going to learn about baking is to understand how do you do the bakery planning. So there are various formats of bakery. What format can you choose? If you know about it, you will be able to make a choice as to how you want to plan your setup, where do you want it, how do you want it, and how to run this business. That's also a very very important aspect that I feel we need to know prior to starting the business. Most of us I've also taken a professional course for a year for baking and confectionery, and I started my business. But whatever I have learned, I've had to teach myself over the course of time, and there are a lot of learnings that happen after some failures, and some learnings that can happen with experience. Those are the learnings that we have. But if you know this right at the beginning of your journey, it makes it a lot more easier, and more than anything else, it saves you a lot of time more than anything else, right? Because you don't do a trial and error bit. You know certain things at the onset. So that's the idea of being able to do the course, why you should do the course. So you learn the science bit of things. You learn how to make the product. As far as the getting the craft right, you need to practice, which is in your hands, and the art is something that you will have to develop over time, right? But these are the skills that you can take: the understanding the science and making the product, and understanding how to do the planning for it. If you want to move into business, those are things that you can learn while you are doing the course, and so it can sort of help you move faster if you want to start a business. So that those are things that you want to learn. Then the other important aspect, that we we have a session for, is the food photography. We have this session not with the expectations that with one or two sessions of food photography people will become photographers, but the idea is that you understand the basics of the how does colors work, how do lights work, and how do you create backgrounds for yourself, or how do you set a shot, and how do you use the camera, whether it's your phone camera. That's also, these days you get excellent phone cameras, but there are lots of settings that we don't know about, or we don't venture into. So that becomes really easy. Okay, that becomes really easy if you get this session. The whole idea of doing the food photography course is, even if you hire a photographer, he might be a great photographer and he takes 50 pictures for you for that one product. But for you to be able to identify which are the five good pictures that will go on maybe your social media platform or your website, you need to know what are those five good pictures, right? So the idea is to learn what a good photo is. How do you set up? You need to know a little bit about that. Where in your wherever you take pictures, where you should take the picture, where you will get better light. Those things are things that you need to understand. So even if you're outsourcing that job to someone else, you are able to identify it for yourself. Since you're an entrepreneur, you need to be involved in every aspect of the business. So I know a lot of people who've joined this course are already business owners. They own a cafe or a bakery, but they have not been involved in the food aspect of things, and that's why they are coming to join the course. There are some who already are bakers but want to know these other things, that how do you take good pictures, how to do costing, how do you set up, what are the requirements. They want to know these things. So different people come for different reasons to join the course, and you can learn all of this. Some bits that you want to master, that would be on you, but the whole idea is that as an entrepreneur, you need to know, you need to be able to be your peon and your CEO. So that is the kind of space that an entrepreneur is. So from everything from a runner to the CEO, you need to be able to do for your business. So for that, you need to have as much knowledge as you can. So even if you are hiring people for the jobs, but you need to be able to understand how that works. Only then will you have more control over things, is something that I've gotten to learn over time, and you could see for yourself if you do whatever you do, that it's always better to know something rather than depending completely on people. Of course, there are people who do learn specifics, but as an entrepreneur, you should know a lot more than just one aspect of your product or the service, right? Mm. Since it's a course, we do have certain other things that one focuses on. So the theory part, the practical classes are one thing, but we also do a little bit of research projects. We do a business project, which, from the learnings of our bakery layout and planning and internet marketing, we ask people to, make a project where they come up with a plan to set up their own bakery or a home baking setup with their own brand, and how they're going to work it, the finances and other things. That is something that, the other aspect of the course that we look at. And there is also, since it's a course, you are going to get a certificate of completion, but you'll also get a grading sheet for doing the course. And to do that, we do have to have an exam. So we do have a written exam that you take at the end of the course. So all the theory that you learn, you have to be able to, put it on paper for us to see how much you've understood of what we do in that course of 3 to 4 months. So that is something that, I would like to tell people in the onset, that so it's not just come, learn and leave, but you also have to show us what you've learned. So we do have, these aspects where you have to write a paper, you do a practical exam, you do have these research projects, and the a business project for you to show us what are the things that you have learned in the due course of the, running of this particular program. So those are things that we're going to be doing. Then I would also like to look at what are things that you can do post you've completed the course. Very, very important that you need to know how you can use the course for your benefit, right? So these have been the people who have come to us to do the program. So we've had people who wanted to start new business, and therefore they came here to learn the science of baking to be able to start that business. There are people who are already business owners, like I mentioned, right? We've had at least one person in each batch, if not more. They're already, they own businesses, whether it's a home baking business or a cafe or a bakery, any of those. They already own that, and they want to sort of, understand the science bit of things better. That's why they join the course. Then we have people who are artists, right? Who want to use cake as a medium. So we teach them variety of cakes, and then they use this to become cake artists. So you see these people who make these beautiful cakes. Lot of them, they have just one or two cake basic recipes. Their whole focus is in the art, creating the art of, beautiful looking designer cakes. So it's also a course for these guys, because the art bit you have to create on your own, but the science bit and the recipe bit for the cakes is what people come to learn. So it is the starting point for people who want to take up, a career as a cake artist. It's also good for people who want to become bloggers, who want to create recipes, who want to create blogs, who want to make these products and put pictures out on their social media. It's a great course for them as well, because you learn the basics, and then you can just sort of do more with the knowledge that you have, to put out more content out there, right? So those are the kind of people who come join the course. Now, if you want to become a baker, you can become, you can do a variety of things, right? You can become a home baker, or you can set up a commercial space for yourself. You could, you could, set up a beautiful place wherein you can, work your products out. It could work as a cloud kitchen for you, and you could, get food tech apps to do the delivery for you. So those can be done. Then you would be able to figure out how to, you have to figure out whether you want to be, be a bootstrapper, wait it out, take limited sum of money that you have and make the business work, or you want to, look at investors who could help you do that. You can be a one person setup, or you can set up an entire team of people, and you can start the business. Obviously all of these depends on the financials you're able to work out for yourself. You can start slow, bootstrap a one person army. You can then, go on increasing. You could do that. So you could look at, the the learning of this course as a stepping stone to starting a new business in the world of food. So you could do that. It could be it could be a small setup of a bakery with a cafe or a restaurant that you want to set up. You could also look at that alternative. You could also become a cake artist, like I mentioned before. You could be somebody who focuses on learning uh, one aspect of things, and then design things according to the according to the market that you get. So you could become a cake artist, or you could be an artisanal bread baker, which I think increasingly people are understanding that commercially store bought product have great shelf life, may look a certain way, but are not the best as far as health is concerned. So you could become a baker who is focusing on that. You do make good quality products with very little food additives to make it a healthier product. So you could focus on becoming that. You could you could be somebody who is doing a variety of breads, healthy breads that you can offer people. You could be somebody who is making dietary specific baking. So whether it's for a clientele which is vegan, or they following a particular diet of whether it's um, they're diabetic, therefore sugar free, or they are following keto diets, therefore it's fat intensive. So you could understand, look at what kind of requirements is there in the market that you're in, and you could become that specific sort of baker, right? So that also can be done. Then, one second. You could also be baking or making these products to create content, right? So you could be somebody who could be doing this to put out content on your blog or your Instagram. You could be somebody who is making these products just to just for your family and friends, and for your house parties and things like that. You could be somebody who's looking at a career in somebody who's making recipes for brands or things like that, and therefore you want to experiment with various flavors and see how that works. So for that also, you need to have a basic understanding of how baking works, right? So you could use this knowledge that you learn from the course to do these things as well. So there could be a variety of things that people can learn using the program, right? I'll quickly run you through what are the things we cover during the course. So these are things that we covered in the course. We do about 20 plus topics in theory that are very, very important for you to understand baking. We also do 50 plus recipes. That is the practical class that we do. So how these online classes function is that we do have video content like most other online courses, but we also have a teacher available at that stipulated time according to the timetable, where it's pre-decided how we are going to do the class, what product are we going to make, and the whole process is discussed during the online class. And then the teacher is available for the next 2.5 hours, 3 hours, depending on how much time it takes to make the product, to help you guide through uh, you know by looking at what you're making on the camera, and by query solving, by being present. And then that video is available post that as well. And even the theory classes that go on, you have the video available post that, so that you can have a look at the products or the discussion that happened for that theory, so that you get guidance. Also post that, we usually make a WhatsApp group, and we also give you support while you are learning to. Suppose you are, it's a day where you are not able to bake the product around that time, and you make that product a little later. You can talk to one of the one of the faculties, and understand how to make that product and things like that, and then they'll help you do that. Even after we finish the course, oftentimes we are available to guide you through any query you have, as far as getting the product right is concerned. So right at the beginning, when we start the course, we create a group and we tell you what are the basics, the setup that is required for you to have at your home to be able to do the course. We discuss what kind of ovens can you have, what kind of um, uh, ingredients do you need, and other baking supplies that you need to have in place while starting the program. Then we send out the copies of the recipe well in advance so that you can keep your ingredients ready for the day when we have the baking. Most often we do these classes thrice a day. Sometimes we do the theory, and in fact we start with theory a little bit for a couple of weeks. We do only theory and then we move on to doing practicals, eventually doing only practicals. And most often we do 3 days a week class, and the course runs for about 3 to 4 months for us to completely finish all the 50 recipes in class. So that's the more or less the gist of how we are completing the course. Now, if you have any questions with regards to the course, please feel free to put it down in the chat box, and I will answer those questions. And right at the beginning, I had mentioned that there is a surprise that we have for people who are interested in joining the course. So there is this 1 day offer that we have, which is only for today, which is a scholarship we are giving out for people who enroll today for the course. You need to call in the number, and we also have somebody who will guide you if you have any queries right now with reference to joining the course and the fee and other things. After I've answered your queries, Miss Elizabeth will come on board, and she'll if you have any queries regarding the fees and the other things apart from the course content and how the course works, you can put it down right now. I'm looking at my chat box right away, and if there are queries, I will answer those. Right? I'll start with the questions that I have right now with me. So please put down more questions. I will answer each of them. Okay. The one question that I see is that I'm vegetarian. Is it possible eggless? Yes, it is. Apart from a couple of recipes, like a whisking method cake, or maybe a custard based, which is baked and made with eggs, most other recipes may we give you alternatives. So wherever there is, so about 95% of the recipes that we do out of the 50 recipes, we have alternatives, and we do very very specific eggless recipes as well, because oftentimes I get to hear and I get to eat as well eggless cakes that are not that tasty, or the texture is a little tough and things like that. So to ease that out, we do at least 3 variety of eggless cakes, so we are sorted with reference to the cakes. With breads, it's far more easy to work with eggless recipes, so we do eggless recipes. So some in certain places, one needs to understand this very well when you're not using egg. Okay, there are few recipes where we can give you alternatives, but there are few recipes where we need to alter the recipe itself. Right? Everywhere egg, the alternative for the egg will not work in a recipe. Right? Because we have to also understand, now this is also science, that there is a reason why egg is added. So for egg to fulfill that purpose, the egg is added. So to keep the texture right, or to hold the cake, also egg is added. Right? So if I'm going to replace that egg, I need to work out my recipe in the right balance and proportion, so that when I get my final product out, the cake should not break into 2 pieces. It needs to hold its shape. So one needs to know what change that we need to make. So we will be giving you alternatives wherever possible, and alternate recipe wherever possible. Right? So that is out of the way. What is the other? That's the one question that I can see. Is there anything else that people want to ask? Please put it out there. I'll answer those as well. Okay. I don't see any at the moment. What we will do is we'll get Miss Elizabeth on board and she'll quickly tell you about this special offer. And meanwhile, I'm also looking at my screen for any more questions. And if there are any baking related questions, I'll come back and I'll answer them. Okay. Hope this has been a helpful session for you to decide whether you want to join the course. I know a lot of people have been telling me that the volume has been low. Sincere apologies for that. But both on my system and the headphones, the volume is high. It's on maximum. So I really don't know what's the glitch, why people are not able to hear very clearly. But if you have any queries, please dial the number. You can also fix up a time to talk to me if you want to talk to me personally. That also is possible. We will be, I'll be able to help you out personally over a call as well. You need to connect with our, sales team and they'll help you out if you want to talk to me personally before enrolling. That's also possible. And I'll just hand it over to Miss Elizabeth. She'll help you out with this particular offer and how you can go ahead and sort of avail the offer. All right. Okay. Is there anything else, Naina? Okay. Cool. I hope it was a useful session for people who have been present live. Thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, I am one phone call away for queries that people want to ask. Uh, can we make a career without? Can I see that question again? Can we make a career without eggless cakes? So are you asking you want to make a career out of being a egg-free baker? Then the answer is yes. And if you're asking if you want, can you make a career without without learning egg-free baking only with eggs? The answer is yes for that as well. There are takers for both. There are takers for egg-free baking as well. There are a lot of people who prefer, increasing number of people who don't want to have, no, non-veg food. So they don't want to eat egg as well. And so there are a good number of people for that. And there are a lot of people who would at least want to, they don't may not be non-vegetarians but prefer having eggs in their cake. So you have both kind of market for both kind of people. So you definitely can make a career out of being a egg-free baker. You don't necessarily have to use egg in your baking. There could be minor limitations. The product texture and output would be slightly different, but that's the only thing. But you have a lot of takers for egg-free baking as well. So we run a 3 months program. So somebody's asked a question on placement. We our placement department always. So what we've observed is there are few people who want to, very few or almost negligible people who are looking at interns for their baking business. Most people want to hire people. So whenever we get to know that somebody is looking to hire, we always pass it on to our students. But since it's a 3 months program, we don't have a placement program for this particular course. But if we get to know that a particular bakery or a cafe is looking at people, we pass on this information to our students, and they do in couple of cases we've had students who have taken up the job to learn on the job and things like that. So even if they wanted to start a career as an entrepreneur, but before doing that they have taken experience by working at the kitchen of a bakery or the central kitchen of a bakery or working at a cafe. So we've had students doing that. So whenever we get to know something on those lines, we do pass on that information to our students. Okay, I'll let Miss Elizabeth take over, and I'm still looking at the chat box. So in case you have more questions, I will come back and answer them. All right? Okay.
Thanks, Preeti, for the wonderful session. Okay, guys, I'm Elizabeth, your career advisor. So I think there's something exciting on the screen already. So you can see that, yes, we are currently offering a special scholarship only for the people who are attending this YouTube session. Okay, and so as you can see, as baking, it's a 4 months online course, and we have limited seats available. And I can see few comments being posted about this. So there's Irfan Irani who has asked how much we will get scholarship. So Irfan, as you can see, the fees is 42,000 plus taxes, and we would be giving you a scholarship of immediate 29,000 plus taxes, which is amazing, and that is only for today. Maybe you can register and you can avail the scholarship within today, and all you need to do is to dial the number 9121221789. The career counselors on the number will get in touch with you and they will explain you everything how to grab the offer. All right. So is there anyone else who has any questions? Okay, and there's Suma Raj again, who has asked how much scholarship will get. Hi Suma Raj. So yes, Suma, the scholarship is a direct of 29,000 discount which we are giving off for today, and which includes taxes and all. So it's 42,000 plus taxes, but in case if you're availing it today, if you're enrolling with us today by 5 p.m., so you will get a direct discount of 29,000 plus taxes. And also Suma, all you have to do is dial the number, the same number which is on the screen. Any more questions or anything? If you have anything regarding the fees, batch or anything, maybe you can drop it off. I will be here to help you. Okay, so I don't see any comments right now at the moment. Okay, so Irfan Irani has said thank you. Thank you, Irfan, too, for the question. And I hope you've got the answer. And we are looking forward that you enroll with us quickly by today by 5 p.m. And any questions, anything, you can just drop in the comment section. I will be really glad to help you. Okay, so I don't see any comments right now at the moment. Preeti will further guide you on the course related comments. So let me again run through the thing. Yes, this is a special scholarship discount which we are giving out to the students who are watching the live session right now. It's specially for you. We have curated this. So the fees is 42,000 plus taxes, but you get it in 29,000 plus taxes in case if you're enrolling with us by 5 p.m. today. And all you have to do is dial on the number 9121221789. Okay, all right. And we have limited seats, guys. So what you can do is you can join us today on or before 5 p.m. Let me just check the chat box again. Okay, and someone has asked me, okay, there's Sunil who has asked me what's the registration process. Hi Sunil, so the registration is, all you have to do is in the description box there is a registration link, the payment link given. So all you have to do is to click on the payment link and it will take you directly for the registration. We have made it very easy for you guys. You can just go to the description box, click on the payment link, it will take you through the thing. You have to just go fill in your details and do the registration there. All right. So I hope I have helped you with the questions, Sunil. I'm looking forward for your admission too. I'll see you. And then there's Syed Babu who has asked a question. Ma'am, will you give certificate for us? Yes, Syed, we provide a certificate from Hamstech once you complete the course, and you will be a certified professional. Okay, and for you guys to make it easy, I will also paste the payment link here in the chat box. You can always pick it up from there. I'll make it easy for you. In case if not, you always have it in the description box. You can pick it up from there as well. I'm right away pasting it there. Okay. Sunil TP has again mentioned a comment saying, is there any installments? Sunil, for all these further details, all you have to do is dial us on the number provided. As I told you, my career counselor will guide you on the details. All right. So all the batch related details, all the timings related details, everything, you can just dial us on the number provided. We will help you for sure on the number. All right. So Sunil, for you, I will just paste the payment link here, and you can just go ahead and enroll with us. And what you can do is you can immediately pay 5,000 as a registration fee and you can enroll with us today. So Sunil, I've pasted the payment registration link. You can just click on the link and you can go do the payment. And yes, for today you can do a registration of 5,000 plus taxes. So that's a special. Again, this is again a special offer which we are giving out. So you need not pay the whole fee right away at the moment today. No, you can just easily register with us with 5,000 plus taxes on the provided link, and we shall take you ahead from there on the further process. All right. And is there any comments relating to the batch fees? Anything maybe you can drop in the comments, and I will definitely assist you. Thank you too, Sunil. I hope I would see you there in the campus for the class once you're done with the registration with us today. Any other comments, any other questions if you have, you can just drop in the comment section. I'll be really happy to assist you. Okay, I don't see any comments coming up as of the moment, but there are some comments coming up related to the course. So maybe I'll hand over it to Preeti. Preeti will guide you further onto it. And okay, so let's go ahead again. So I'll just repeat it again. So all you have to do is dial us on the number given, and the registration link is placed there for you. So you can just go there, pay 5,000 plus taxes, register with us immediately before 5 p.m. today. And this offer of 29,000 plus taxes is only for today and only for the people attending the session, not for anyone else. Of course, anyone else can join us too, but for you guys, this is a special scholarship what we are offering. All right, so I'll see you guys. I'll of course be on call on the number provided. I'll assist everyone in person, talk to you and clear all your doubts. All right, thank you so much. I'll give it ahead to Preeti and she will assist you. Thank you everyone.
Hi guys, I'm back, and just let me quickly have a look if there is a particular question related to baking and the course. I'll answer that for you. And if you still are, thinking about it, or you have queries a little later, like I mentioned, you can always make a call and fix up an appointment, and we can get in touch over a phone call as well if you have any queries with respect to the course itself, right? Um, so I think mostly all the questions that have been put out there have been answered. They've been related to the fee payment installment and how do you go about with the registration. That has been answered by Elizabeth, and I'm going to reiterate again. The link is available in the description box, in the chat box as well, and you could call on the number. So you have many ways to be able to enroll with us today to avail the offer. And as far as any query apart from the questions that have been put out there, if you feel you want to talk to me personally, you can also call on the number and fix up a time where you can talk to me about the course related details. I can help you with that as well. I think I will we will say goodbye to each other now because we've taken a lot of time, and but I hope this has been a useful session for you to be able to take a call on whether you want to try this online baking course and how it's going to work for you. And if you have any further questions, again, please feel to connect with us. We'll help you out with that. Hoping to see some of you, if not all of you, in our online courses. And next time probably I could also see people from the other side of the screen and not just putting myself out there on the screen. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll call it a day today, right? So you have the numbers, you have, I think, whatever queries you have, we've been able to answer them for you. Hoping to see you in the course. All right, thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.